I'd just like to preface this by saying that I carry no ill will towards Scott Pilgrim Takes Off or the franchise in general. In fact, it's actually one of the more important things in my life right now. Speaking of which, I would avoid watching this video if you haven't watched the show yet because it contains some pretty obvious spoilers. But again, if you're someone that's like me, you'd probably either stay anyway or just want another synopsis just because. Okay, so Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is a 2023 Netflix animated series based off of the graphic novels by Brian Lee O'Malley. The show itself takes place in an alternate timeline from the original, where Scott supposedly dies, and it focuses on Ramona Flowers while she tries to uncover the truth of the situation in a kind of mystery type thing. And to reiterate again, if you think this sounds interesting, you should just go watch it real quick. I think it's on Internet Archive, just so you know. The actual main focus of this video thing is the way the sapphic representation, specifically in the third episode, Ramona runs a video, is... I don't know how to word this. I just guess it's worse than the MLM representation in another episode, Lights, Camera, Sparks. It just seems kind of shoehorned in at the end and borderline fetishistic. Let me add some context, by the way. So, before this episode, basically, it's what happens in the main thing, really. Matthew Patel shows up, tries to fight Scott, supposedly kills him, but then Ramona ends up hearing Scott in that subspace highway desert area that's a reoccurring location in the series. Can someone tell me if it has an actual name? But she goes back to the rocket, reviews the footage of his death, and then sees that someone grabbed him and pulled him into a portal, whatever. The main point is that she goes to the second cup, whatever it's called, and then Julie Powers recommends that she should go talk with Kim Pine, who works at No Account Video, which is the setting for the rest of the episode. Also, subtle foreshadowing, but Wallace, Scott's gay roommate, appears in the second comp with other Scott, another gay man, without it seeming weird and forced. Like, they're just together and it's not weird. So, Kim is late to work and rushes in, and her coworker, Holly Hawks, is already there behind the counter. Kim is called back seconds later after Ramona arrives and explains the situation to her. Also, side note, but in Takeoff, because the glow doesn't exist, apparently the Simon Lee thing may or may not have actually happened. Finally, my goat, Roxy Richter, shows up, thank God. Out of order, noting because the League of Ramona's evil exes has fallen to shit. Bonus points for bad Scorpions pun. Minus points because Roxy breaks her arm here. Roxy attempts to get back together with Ramona, but the two end up getting into an argument over their past relationship, which turns into a physical altercation. I don't even know what happens here, but a bookshelf falls onto them and they end up in an old movie or something like that. Interesting fight sequence. Ramona's sledgehammer shows up again. Honestly, a really emotional scene that fleshes out both of their characters. And in the end, they have a heart-to-heart that definitely hits hard and gets across exactly what it's trying to say without overstepping anything. God, honestly, this is something that hits really personal to me and some experiences I've had, and it got me really hard. And then this happens. So, after being able to get over some of their harsh feelings, the girls are sitting in the video store. That's Kim, Ramona, Roxy. And then Roxy asks to kiss Ramona. Ramona says no and clearly sets her boundaries and says she just wants to be friends. Roxy asks about possibly being friends with benefits and is turned down, immediately turning towards Kim and asking if she would be okay with it. She considers it, and then there's this creepy, gross, weirdly animated making out scene between the two of them that goes on for way too long. Oh my god, I hate this part so much. It's so fucking fetishistic, dude. And it doesn't have anything to do with the plot. It just happens, and then nobody fucking says anything about it. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for the girls, but Jesus Christ! Anyway, the other episode I wanted to talk about is the one that's 2 episodes after this, Lights, Camera, Sparks. Basically, Envy Adams and Todd Ingram end up working on the biopic of Scott's life, which is essentially just the original story. Todd is playing Scott, and Envy is playing Ramona. The two of them end up having too much chemistry, so Wallace, who got hired to play himself, suggests that they pivot a little, which ends up starting an affair. Frankly, in hindsight, this is also kind of weird, but it isn't a gross, sloppy close-up, and it's actually relevant to the fucking plot. They end up getting so involved, tastefully off-screen, that the movie's production is just absolutely fucked. And again, this isn't just a sexual thing, at least not for Todd. Like, this is something that is serious to him, and it carries on for pretty much the rest of the show, if I remember correctly. Like, this isn't just something they slapped in for gooning points. And that's what pisses me off. Like, either make them both super weird and horny, or just make them both meaningful and plot relevant. That's really all I have. If you want me to do a review of the whole show, let me know. I just kind of wanted to make a short thing on this, really. And also, I'm not, I forgot. I don't know.